Welcome to GAEL Unscripted, where leadership meets learning and real conversations drive real impact. I'm Ben Wiggins, Executive Director of GAEL. Join us as we go beyond the headlines with Georgia's top education leaders. Let's elevate the conversation. Welcome back, GAEL family, to another exciting episode of GAEL Unscripted. Today we've got a special guest. We've got Selena Blakenship here with us from now the Georgia Department of Education. So Selena, some of our GAEL members are new and they may not know you. So take a moment or two to introduce yourself and maybe tell them some of the leadership positions that you had before your most recent position with DOE.
Sure. Well, it is a delight to be here with you. And I started out as a teacher in South Georgia.
Where?
In Jessup, Georgia,
I did not know that. Wayne County.
Actually, my first teaching job was in Hinesville.
Oh, wow.
And then I taught in Wayne County.
All right. And that is South Georgia.
It is
That's
South Georgia
there.
for sure.
Yeah.
But loved my time down there. But we moved back to Athens in the early 2000s, and I began teaching here in Clark County. And so I think I was telling you earlier, my career really was divided into thirds. So I spent a third of my time as a teacher, a third of my time as a school leader, and then finished my career the last third as a district leader. And so as a school leader, that's probably my favorite time of my career.
We did a podcast with Mitch Young, superintendent of Forsyth County. He said the same thing. I was talking to Robin Hines not too long ago, superintendent at Houston County and then Georgia High School. He said his favorite job was being a principal. It's really funny. It seems like everyone I talked to that was a principal, they always say that their time as a school building principal was their favorite job, and I feel the same way.
It's the best because it's the last time that you get to make the decision.
Amen. It's like they think, "Oh, I'll be a superintendent now." Well, okay,
you've got too many bosses.
That's right. That's awesome.
But so I was a high school assistant principal and had a great mentor, Robbie Hooker.
Yeah.
I think you've had him on your podcast.
Robbie's
before.
Been a guest.
And then spent 5 best years of my career as principal at Hillsman Middle School.
Right down the road.
Yeah. And you have to be a little crazy to be a middle school teacher or principal.
I hear some people say mental school rather than
yes.
middle school.
there are days that it feels that way, but it truly is a wonderful age, and you get to see so much change in the students during that time. And just had the opportunity and desire really to have a bigger impact, and so I had been here at UGA getting my PhD in Human Resources and Organizational Development.
UGA is the home of GAEL.
UGA is the home of GAEL, yes. And
did you have classes here in
I
Rivers
did,
Crossing? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of my classes pretty much were in Rivers Crossing. So, but with that degree, I really wanted to look at systems and how we really use systemic change to impact and support teachers so that we're providing better student outcomes. Yeah. And so that's how I moved into the human resources realm.
And how was that? Talk about that. Going from where you say, you're making the decisions. You make things happen quickly. You want to change car rider pickup, you can do it tomorrow.
You do it today.
Now talk about human resources.
Yeah, well, I think part of it is the move from building level, where you are pretty much the final decision maker on things, to the district level, where there are many layers. You don't realize all of the factors that have to go into making a decision, and you really don't have any power or control. Not that power was what is what people are looking for, but so it's a very different way of working, and you have to really capitalize even more so on the relationships that you build with people. And I think the most important thing, and this is true at the school level too, but I think even more so at the system level, is making sure that when you are planning, when you're making decisions, that you have all the people at the table that need to be involved in that decision.
Yeah.
Because nothing will derail something faster
Yeah.
than not having the right people at
That's
the
right.
table.
That's
So,
right.
so that was a huge learning experience. But had a great mentor there in April Howard, and she
Works at UGA now. with
works
Carl-
at UGA
Carl
now.
Benson.
That's
Mhm.
right.
See what she helps us with the GAEL executive coaching. She and
Oh,
Russ Cook.
excellent!
Mhm.
Yeah,
They do. They've
that's a
done a
great
wonderful
program.
job. Yep. So now you do that, you retire, and so like most retired people, you're just going to sit at home and do nothing, right?
I was happily retired, playing mahjong every Wednesday afternoon, and traveling and doing a little bit of coaching and some consulting, and heard about this opportunity with the Department of Education, leading the Teaching the Peach initiative.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those things that when you retire, you're not giving up your love for your career. You're not giving up your passion. And so when something comes along that is like a perfect alignment with that, you kind of have to say, well, let me take a look at this. And so had the opportunity to take this position, and it has just been a tremendous positive experience for me, and really look forward to what we're doing for teachers to support the teaching profession and those that are coming into education.
Yeah, well, it's perfect. I think you're the perfect person for that. So maybe for some of our new GAEL members, maybe they're not familiar with what Teaching the Peach is.
Sure.
Why don't you share with them a little bit about that program?
Sure. So Teaching the Peach is Georgia's statewide teacher recruitment initiative, and it's really designed to help people discover what it's like to be a teacher in Georgia, what they need to do to become a teacher in Georgia, and that Georgia really is one of the best places to be a teacher.
It really is.
We are number one in teacher morale in the nation.
Wow.
Recent research showed that. And so we want to just get that word out that Georgia is a wonderful place to have a career in education and make a positive impact.
Yeah. And Teaching the Peach is like a one-stop shop, right?
It really is.
I had a question over the weekend. A young person who has a college degree asked me, hey, if I wanted to get into teaching, how do I do this? What are the steps? And I pointed them toward Teaching the Peach website.
Thank you. So it was designed to be this kind of a centralized hub of information and resources for people who are curious about the teaching profession, and also for current educators, because there are resources there for them as well if they're looking to change districts. Maybe their significant other has been relocated, or maybe they just want to have a different teaching experience. It's a whole different world from South Georgia to North Georgia, or from East Georgia to West Georgia. We're a pretty big state, so sometimes people need a change for a variety of reasons. They can go there. We have, I think, one of the best tools to help both prospective educators and current educators, whether they're in state or out of state, to find where the job openings are in Georgia. So they can click on the county that they're interested in going to, and it will take them directly to the website
That's
where
good.
their job openings are.
That's perfect. So is every school district's human resources department now, they're plugged in to teaching the PED, so they're all the county, city school districts where you can click on?
Right, so we route to their district website, their HR site, and if sometimes small counties don't have their own applicant tracking system, and so they use Teach Georgia the place to post their jobs, and so it will take them to their HR site, but then that will direct them to Teach Georgia where they can find those jobs.
That's fantastic. What are the biggest factors influencing teacher recruitment and retention across Georgia right now, and how is Teaching the Peach responding to those realities?
So, Georgia's really not very much different from the rest of the nation. We have declining enrollment in educator prep programs pretty much across the board in all content areas. There's an increased competition for talent, not just within education, but outside of education. People in corporations realize how well trained teachers are.
They're smart, they're intelligent, they're articulate, they have good people skills. Yes,
and so they're coming and offering teachers jobs, and we also have this need to strengthen the support systems for new educators, and then finally, we have this perception that teaching is kind of a dead-end job, and really the only way to advance is to go into leadership or into a district office position. So, we've got to make sure that we're addressing all of those things. The good news is that in Georgia, we have great benefits. We have one of the strongest retirement systems in the nation, and I'm thankful for that every month.
So am I.
And we have competitive pay. We have strong RESAs regions that support our school systems, and there's a real commitment from state leadership to focus on providing the support that school systems and teachers need. And it's something that, in my 30 years of education, I haven't seen that previously. The last 8 to 10 years or so really has been a strong focus on making sure that educators get what they need.
Yeah, teacher pay has increased over the years. I know a lot of school districts after COVID, some of the things you mentioned, some competition for those jobs. I think school districts, human resources departments really got serious about what are the things that we can offer our teachers, our staff, to incentivize them to stay in education and to come work at our district. So there's a lot of, I have seen a lot of things going on to compete for those spots.
That's right. A lot of innovative benefits, and another thing that school systems I think are doing more of now than they did in the past is looking for ways to provide those teacher career pathways. Lots of grow your own type pathways, and that's something that Teaching the Peach also supports, along with our registered teaching apprenticeships that our Office of Rural Ed.
I think I just saw. Did they just have maybe their first?
Yes.
And we're videoing this in January of 2026. So, but it seems like I just saw on social media they just had their first apprentice graduate fully certified.
Crisp
and they've
County.
got a lot more coming. I was going to say it was in South Georgia, so that's awesome. You mentioned, I know a lot of school districts are really trying to do some outside of the box things with their grow their own. And I know a lot of attention is on the paraprofessionals in their building and their students, their high school students that want to get into education. And, I look back on my life, and other than my parents, the most influential people in my lives were my teachers and coaches.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people have that same story. And I think the teaching is a fantastic career. What other job can you have as a teacher? When you go to the store, you're bombarded by your former students.
Right.
And there's
Do
that.
you remember me?
Yeah, that connection, and they remember stories, and you don't get that level of influence in other jobs. So.
And those are really some of the kinds of stories that we try to highlight on our Teaching the Peach website. So, it is about recruitment and making it a simplified way for people to find their path into education. So one of the components of the website is a page where you can say, okay, I'm a high school student, I'm a career changer, I'm an out-of-state teacher, and you can click on that area, and it will tell you the exact steps you need to take.
Which used to be very hard information to find.
Exactly. So not only do we have that, though, but we also want to elevate and amplify teacher voices and really share the positive messages. We're in a negative news cycle all the time, it seems like. And so the more we can share those positive stories in education and those influential stories.
Because there's great stories that happen every day inside of classrooms at every school in our state and across the country. And we public educators need to do a better job of promoting those and talking about those.
We're not perfect. No profession is.
Yeah.
But there is far more positive in this profession than it's given credit for.
Absolutely. So you're launching a new statewide teacher ambassador program. What inspired this effort, and how do you see ambassadors helping elevate the profession in sport districts?
So really just it was inspired by the need to amplify those excellent teacher voices and to spread that good news. I mean, who are the best recruiters other than teachers themselves, right?
That's right.
And so it's an opportunity for excellent teachers to share all of those positive things about teaching with those who are interested. And so we are starting a pilot this year, and we'll have a group of teachers that will help to really kind of expand our capacity to share the good news about teaching and to attend recruitment events, do presentations, and really just tell their story about why they became a teacher.
This generation, you hear a lot of them, they say they want a job where it's impactful and meaningful and there's a purpose. And when I hear that, I just think
education, right?
It, right? I mean, it's got all of those things. And I love being a teacher because no two days are the same.
Exactly.
No two classes are the same.
You get a do-over every period, right?
And students, I don't know, both as a teacher and as a principal, they made my day. They helped me not take myself so serious, to understand that the joy of the everyday mundane of just watching those students. I just don't think there's anything more impactful than a teacher.
Yeah. Well, one of the most exciting parts of my job right now is that we get to go to all of the future Georgia Educator Days that Paige sponsors. And so, every time we go, we get the opportunity to talk to these high school students who are interested in being teachers. And so it's really exciting to see that, there are these young people out there who want to come into this profession and have the kind of impact that someone's had on them.
Yeah, and I think it's great to target those high school students. They're right there. They're having a good experience at home. We want our best and brightest to stay in our local communities. And what better way to reinvest in your local community and give back than become a teacher?
That's right. Yeah. And one of the components of that registered teaching apprenticeship is a pre-apprentice program that some high schools in the state have begun, and hopefully that'll spread over the years. Yeah. But high school students can go into one of these pathways, be a pre-apprentice, then go straight into an apprenticeship and learn while they earn and contribute to their retirement along the way, and have a great career and have it paid for, essentially.
That is fantastic. What can districts, RESAs, our higher education partners and communities do to amplify teaching the peach and play an active role in attracting and retaining great educators?
I think the first thing, probably the biggest thing, is to just be the storytellers of those great stories of educators who are making a difference and students who are thriving because of the educators that they have. Build strong partnerships with universities and educator prep programs. That has been, one of the cornerstones of Teaching the Peach, is to have these strong partnerships with RESAs, with school districts, with universities, that we all have to work together to support our teachers. And really, maybe the biggest thing, because retention is kind of the new recruitment strategy, right? Is to really support districts in building strong induction programs.
I'll talk about that a little bit. Let's say I'm a brand new HR director or principal, whatever, and I don't have a good induction program. So you're saying Teaching the Peach can help with that? You got some resources?
I'm saying yes. So I'm saying that Teaching the Peach can connect them with our team at the State Department who works with our induction program, and they support districts to develop strong induction and mentoring programs for teachers. And it is just, I think, if you're looking for return on investment, it's one of the best things that you can do, because teachers are more likely to stay when they feel supported, when they feel recognized, and they feel like they have a place where they belong. And that's what a strong induction and mentoring program is going to do for you.
Yeah, and it's important that as soon as you get them on your campus to start that. Because,
yes.
And this was years ago, but I remember seeing some literature that, basically between Halloween and Thanksgiving, they've kind of decided if this is the place for me or not.
Right.
So you can't wait. And you are hearing more and more about school districts and principals being much more intentional, even having stay interviews, but just pouring into those induction programs.
Right. And that is the area most of our teachers decide to leave in that first 3 years. I know some districts have seen a 50% attrition rate or higher in those first year teachers. And when implementing an induction program, they're seeing their retention rate go up to 85-90% of those teachers. So it really makes a difference. And I'm just so pleased that our State Department of Education has seen the importance of that and have a whole team dedicated to supporting districts in developing those programs.
And I think there's a lot of attention statewide on this. Of course, the DOE started Teaching the Peach. Last legislative session, Senator Billy Hickman authored Senate Resolution 237, which was fantastic. It brought all of the agencies together, having the same conversation, all centered around recruitment and retention of educators.
When's the last time you saw all of those different agencies come together and collaborate?
Yeah, worked well together.
Yes.
Some great ideas. And then when Jody Barrow, PSC, presented that to the House and Senate Education Committees, it was so well received. And the very positive messages from both of those committees about the work that was done, and actually charged Jody to go back and look at some other things. So it was a very, very rewarding process. And I think it just speaks to the urgency and the knowledge that even our political figures know we've got to have teachers in those classrooms for our students. Not just for the students themselves and their families, but for the communities, for the business and industry world. It's like Governor Kemp says we're the best state to do business, and we are. And a large part of that is because of those public educated students that are working in those businesses.
That's right.
I think it's close to 90%. Well, looking ahead to next year, what outcomes or milestones will tell you that Teaching the Peach is making the impact that you envision?
So, obviously, an increase in retention is going to be one of the things that we look at. But beyond that, just increased engagement, more people, looking to go into education, and us being able to help them find the pathway that they need to take. Seeing more people choose to become teachers. So, at the beginning of the year, the number of positions that have gone unfilled, seeing that significantly reduced would be a good indicator that we're making a contribution to that. And then just positive trends in early career teacher retention and satisfaction of teachers across the board.
Yeah. Well, I think what your department at the DOE is going to do is just build up that brand of the teaching profession, making sure that, or helping to show all the positives that come from the teaching career. And I think we, as public educators, can do a better job of kind of tooting our own horn.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we don't, I don't know, it's like as educators, sometimes we don't like to brag. There are fantastic things going on inside of all those schools and classrooms. Parents in those districts, they have teachers and coaches that have made huge impacts on their children's lives. They, as parents, have people that they can point to that, as their teachers, made impacts in their lives. So I think that that's another thing that your department's going to continue to do.
And if people out there want to recognize a teacher, we have a way for them to do that.
Tell us about
on our
that.
website. So if you go to the Teaching the Peach website, you can fill out a form to recognize a teacher that gives you the opportunity to just share what kind of impact they're making. And it's something that we've just started, and we'll highlight them on our website and on social media. But we want to share those great stories, and we can't do that unless people share them with us.
Yeah, so you heard that, GAEL members. If you please spread the word and think about the outstanding educators in your buildings and in your district. And let's flood Teaching the Peach website with some nominations so that they can do a great job of bragging on the great work that your teachers are doing at your schools and communities. Well, Selena, thank you so much for joining us. Are there any final words you want to share with our members about Teaching the Peach?
Sure. I would just remind everyone out there that May 5th is Educator Signing Day, and that is an event that started last year. Students from all across the state who are interested in becoming teachers there to sign their letter of intent to become a teacher. And so it's just a big day of celebrating and uplifting all of these future educators.
And that's open to any school district?
It's open to every school district.
And so if they want more information on that, just go to the Teaching the Peach website.
Come to Teaching the Peach.
We
have an email address. We'll be happy to share the information. The other thing that I would share is for HR directors out there, especially those who are smaller districts, don't maybe have the resources. We have marketing materials. We're in recruitment season right now, and we have a whole marketing toolkit that we can provide templates that will give you the opportunity to have marketing materials almost ready to go. You just plug and play, and help you in your recruitment efforts.
Well, that's extremely helpful. I didn't know that. That is very impressive. Well, thank you, Selena. Thank you for what you're doing
Thank
for
you,
teaching the
Ben.
Peach. Thank you for what you've done over your career. And we're so glad to see that you're continuing to stay in public education. And thank you, GAEL members, for joining us for another episode of GAEL Unscripted.